the crowd was ready for the second round of the MP4 MP3 machines, again with the likes of King David Somerville versus Hollywood Gore. This race was to be epic, with others such as Jeffrey Panton, Christopher Campbell, Peter Ray, Matthew Gore. It was anybody's guess as to what would be in store. The start was just the same as in race 1. The green flag was waved and Somerville, who was a good distance behind Hollywood, sped the way down the total stretch. A late-breaking Doug was able to take back the lead exiting the total corner. David Somerville Jr. is not one to give up, and even with an obviously unstable car, he fought with everything he had. Peter Ray got comfortable in third position but lost it in the RACS's. He tells us what happened.
Tires, brand new tires. I'd never recommend them to anyone. The car looped with me in the first 3/4 of a lap in the chicane coming up the hill, and that just put me out the running.
Doug Gore started to put as much distance between himself and Somerville. Further behind was Petcom-sponsored Causewell, trying to defend his third position from Team Mobay's Matthew Gore. He was successful as once again the Evo 10 was unable to finish the race. Even though in different classes, Shell-sponsored Sebastian Ray in the Magnum was giving Jeffrey Panton a warm time. As if things couldn't get worse for the Somerville fans.
Team Somerville is in trouble. TSR is in trouble. Not sure what's happened there, but the car is smoking terribly. And it seems as if he's not aware. Oh my goodness, no.
The little smoke from Vivian Mitchell earlier in the day was nothing in comparison to this. In fact, it was so thick that her cameras could not pierce it. Jeffrey Panton took advantage of the blanket of smoke and emerged second in front of Causewell. Heath Causewell, however, was able to get back his second place position from Panton. Gore, of course, went on to win the MP4 while Jagan won the MP3. One racer voiced his concern about the smoky incident during the race.
At one point at all, I couldn't see at all. I think the marshals dropped the ball. I was expecting that David Somerville would have been removed from the track because it was, absolutely ridiculous and incredibly dangerous out there with us not being able to say anything.
Christopher Campbell suffered a serious accident at the Carnival of Speed 2012 meet in his BMW M3. He sat out the year and is now back. He spoke with us.
Well, actually, we just finished getting the car together. We have a couple little hiccups because we had to strip the car all the way down, get it repaired, back up with it. So we have a little misfires here and there, nothing major, but we're just trying to get it right. Unfortunately, I went out in the first race because I didn't qualify, so I had to start at the back. And when after the first lap, I broke the exhaust manifold, so all the power went. So I basically just tried to finish the race and come back in.
Another addition to the day's schedule, sponsored by Stewart's Auto Sales, was Drifting 101. The president, Teach McFarlane, took his Mitsubishi Evo and did some precision driving, sliding the car in between some cones. He explained the plan.
You want to build people up, but not build it up to the point where it's going to happen all the while. So that first time when I came and I ran off the road, it was part of the plan, part of the design. It was actually a choreographed set, except for one or two little things that kind of went a little wrong. But that's the nature of it. In motoring, nothing goes to plan.
The demonstration went well for the most part. He then took the BMW 1M out for a spin, literally going sideways through the corners, to the crowd's delight. Now for the big race, where the drivers get to go all out. It's the Thundersport 1 and 2. The crowd was hoping, but it didn't happen. David Somerville missed this race as his team ran out of time repairing the damage to his car from the MP4 race.
If the organizers gave us another 5 minutes, we were putting water in the radiator to come out, we would have probably been able to make it. But they made a call not to, to start the race. We would have liked to even have started at the back. It wouldn't matter. We'd have been happy just to start in pit lane. But
with the absence of the team leader, Andre Anderson stepped up to the plate and represented Team Total to the best of his ability, immediately getting second spot as Peter Ray slowed drastically at the start of the race. Chris Campbell started to show his worth in third overall position, pressured by Ray in the Magnum, Causewell, Greg and Chen. Alan drew first blood in his class, getting past Greg on the inside of the Caribsmen corner. He was now second in Thundersport 1. On lap 2, Campbell started to bleed when Causewell got past him on the inside of corner 2, pushing Campbell out of podium contention. Kyle Gregg took back his position from Chen in corner 3 and set his sights on TS1 leader Sebastian Ray. If being pushed off the podium in his class wasn't enough, TS1 leader, the Magnum of Ray, applied maximum pressure to Campbell. A very witty Ray outbraked Campbell into corner 3.
Campbell and Ray. Whoa, this is close. There's going to be an accident here, and there is. What a recovery. What a recovery.
The small incident, however, gave Kyle Gregg the lead in Thundersport 1, and the second place spot Ray was now in was under threat from Chen. The lower Thundersport 1 class just became hot. Ray was able to fend off Alan Chen and keep the second place spot. Now Ray had a fight on his hand for the top spot in his class. Petcom-sponsored Causewell, who was in third position in MP4, spun in corner 1, landing him on the grass at the Total corner. This is where he stayed until the end of the race. Total Lubricants have been one of the biggest sponsors at Dover. They own corner 1, Total Corner. They sponsor the entry-level class, B45, and they also sponsor one of the most successful racing teams at Dover, comprising Somerville, Anderson, and Gregg. Title sponsor Shell came on board in a major way. 1, they are title sponsors. 2, they own corner 5. And we found out that
Shell approached my uncle Peter Ray because they don't want to form a team. So far it's Peter, myself, and George Bailey and Tarek Minot. So Team Total has their team, Shell has their team, and we're going to have some good clean fun on the track.
That's one mighty big team. Shell versus Total. With one win over Total already in MP3, how would another matchup play out? We're able to find out. Now Ray was right up behind Gregg, and it wasn't just about Ray versus Gregg. The bigger picture was Total versus Shell. Who will reign supreme? Who is better? Ray challenged Gregg on the front stretch, and let's say he wasn't successful. Ray continued the challenge here on the outside of corner 6. Halfway through the 12-lap race, Ray was still trying to get past Gregg, but Gregg closed all the doors when he could. Out on the front stretch, Ray went on the inside, sending Gregg in a fit of defensive driving. Ray fell back in line, but kept the trigger cocked, waiting on that opportune time to strike. In a situation where boy drivers would definitely fail, Ray demonstrated superhuman traits by controlling his machine in one of the most unforgiving corners of the track. He continued pounding on Gregg's door, but Gregg kept fastening the locks. A very annoyed Sebastian Ray stopped pounding the door and just kicked it down on the inside of the front stretch to take back the lead in Thundersport 1, much to the delight of Uncle Peter and the fans.
Sebastian Ray has taken the position he's been fighting for the past couple of minutes. He's ahead of Kyle Gregg.
Crossing the finish line for Thundersport 2, we have ATL Racing Doug Gore in first, Seaboard Marine Jeffrey Panton in second, and Total Andre Anderson in third. In Thundersport 1, Shell sponsored Sebastian Ray with a well-deserved win overall and in his class, followed by Total's Kyle Gregg and Alan Chen. Chen answered the challenge of Gregg on the track.
Alan, you ready? We'll be back to defend it. Maybe lead it.
Another highly anticipated event was the MP2 MP1 race. People started to look to other competitors for competition for Kyle, since his greatest rival, Chen, posed no threat being at the back of the grid. Green flag racing, and as expected, Gregg sped away from the pack, followed by Ray in the same class. Other fighters in MP2, Jagan, Chuck, and Chen, who all started out at the back of the grid, had their work cut out for them if they were to pose a threat to Gregg or even Ray.
Alan Chen is the man to watch. He came from the back. He went around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going for the 6th man. He's coming for him. Will he take him? It's a little difficult, but Chen is the man to watch, coming all the way from the back. And he's pulling up on Guy Fraser. Let's see if he's going to get him.
It became extremely obvious that Alan Chen was the man to watch. MP1 girl Natasha Chang took second overall, passing MP2 Sebastian Ray exiting the Tire Warehouse corner. By the Jamaica Automobile Association corner, Chen had gotten past Fraser and was now battling for class position with Ray. That didn't last long as Chen took Ray on the Mobile 1 stretch and headed for Chang. At the start of the second lap, Chen was in second and had sights set now on Greg. That challenge would be a tall order though, as Greg had a good lead over the pack. But who knows, Alan Chen to back down from a challenge? No way. Further back, the battle for third position held by Ray in MP2 was under threat from Jagan. At the start of the third lap, this was the distance between Greg and Chen. One lap later, this was the distance between them. The next lap, this is what we saw. It wasn't as easy as that. Starting in position number 11 was bad enough. But things only got harder for Chen as he lost about 12 horsepower when his muffler broke free from the vehicle in corner 2. He persevered and took the top position at the end of the Mobile 1 stretch. The drama, however, was not done in this race as in front of the grandstands.
There's a fire. Sebastian Ray's car is on fire.
He got out quickly, but the car continued to burn for a further minute and a half before the marshals were able to control it. A well-deserved win for Alan Chen in MP2 and Natasha Chang in MP1. It's kind of unfortunate that he doesn't stand out more, but the driver of Susie, Don Gilbert, does rather well in MP1. In both races, he led her to 2 third-place podium finishes. We took the time out to speak with one of the most consistent racers at Dover.
You have been here for a long time. You're a consistent competitor. You are a dedicated race driver. How do you do it?
Well, it's pretty difficult, because as you know, I'm a doctor at Cornwall Regional Hospital, and that takes up a lot of my time. I'm also a Seventh-day Adventist, so my church responsibilities also take up time, but you need an extracurricular activity too. So my extracurricular activity is racing. This car was originally a 1300cc engine, but we have modified it, stroked and boarded, so it's up to 1500cc, but it's still one of the smallest engines at Dover. Most of the other people are running 1600 and above, but I try my best.
Tell us about your sponsorship.
One of my sponsors used to be a Tropical Battery. We're still trying to renegotiate a new sponsorship, but they used to help me with a lot of lubricants and battery and some sponsorship money. Right now, most of it is on me, so I have to work hard. Thank goodness I have a job with the government, and the government won't be laying me off, so I can afford to race.
Now let's get back to what the president was saying about entertainment and the day in general.
Well, we started now by bringing an entertainment package. I mean, Sizzler was no other way to say it. Shell off. Shell out, or whatever the saying is. I'm too old, but since Shell Helix is our title sponsor, I'll just stick it in there. That's some good stuff. It really has given us the opportunity to, I think, entertain the crowd doing races and raise the bar in terms of what we're going to do. The problem is following it. You set your bar high, and then the next time people come, that's now your standard. So what do we do next time for coming up?
That was Carnival of Speed 2013. The bar has been raised. Can it be met again? Will there be other amazing and competitive activities added to the day? Who will be the next entertainer?
Next time I bring Shaggy. I thought it.
I
didn't say that. I was too loud.
What's on the horizon for circuit racing?
I'm actually being designated the team captain for the Shell team, which consists of my nephew Sebastian, Lisa Bowman-Lee, Tarek Minot, and George Bailey. So we're trying to coordinate an effort to make it a strong force, good marketing, good publicity for Shell, and it's a win-win for everyone.
Another female returning to Dover? Samantha and Natasha, girls, better look out! Better yet, men, are you ready for this? Are there any other potential teams? Local team Petcom has a ring to it. With Peter Ray coming back with a new, more powerful engine with higher boost, David and Doug better be on the lookout. Team ATL and Team Total, Shell is coming down to shell down the place. And that's not all. Caribbean drivers who sat out last year with one aim in mind are now coming to accomplish it. It being to take the Caribbean Motor Racing Championship, CMRC crown, away from Somerville. And what are Somerville's thoughts on this?
We're strong, and we're going to defend the title again. Jamaica brought home the title last year. I brought home the drivers, so we feel good.
Carnival of Speed 2013 is now history, and it set a wonderful precedent. Sunday, May 26, 2013 is one day you want to find yourself at Dover Raceway. Drivers versus drivers, sponsors versus sponsors, Jamaica versus the Caribbean. Why on earth would you want to be anywhere else?
Bye.